This video was sponsored by Enhance, Neowatt, A Better Road Planner, Elbilmek, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? Bjorn here. Today we have an interview with someone from NIO, and we want to talk about the virtual power plant. So short background is that in Sweden, NIO power swap station, they now can act as virtual power plant, and this is quite interesting topic I find. So today I have Kajsa from Head of Power Europe in NIO with me on a video call here. So hello Kajsa.
Great to meet you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for showing up here. Well, maybe Kajsa, can you do like a quick explanation? What is the whole grid services and NIO and all that?
Well, of course, there are different kinds of grid services, but if we look to the one that we were recently qualified for in Sweden, it's called FCRD, Frequency Containment Reserve for Disturbances. What is that basically? Well, if you we have the electricity net, and we want to have some reserve to keep the power stable. So if there's some sudden actions in the grid, maybe there's a power plant shutting down, or there's lots of wind energy coming in that wasn't planned for. You know, the demand is not as much as what we can put into the net, and that can cause some problems in the net. And that's why we need some reserves to absorb excess energy or give away energy. So what NIO is doing, the FCRD, is when there is a disturbance, we activate our battery storages and receive energy to keep the electricity net stable, basically.
That's brilliant, using existing hardware to help the grid. So I prepared some questions. Yeah, okay, so first question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that the grid balancing, okay, like besides from the grid balancing service and the excess like renewable energy it can store, how much can actually the one swap station store in kilowatt hours?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And we in Europe, we have two different generations of power swap stations. So we have one generation 2, and this can store 1.3 megawatt hours. We have 13 batteries, and in the generation 3, we can store 2.2 megawatt hours.
But that is okay. But that is given that it's completely empty, right?
Yeah. Of course, given that theoretically how much can be stored within all of the batteries when it's empty. Yes.
But in more like in general, it's less than that. Maybe 1/10 or.
Yeah. We don't put in all of them, and the stations are not accessible for that. So when you do grid services, you qualify for an amount that the station can receive. So the different stations, we did some different pre-qualifications, and then it could be 400 kilowatt hours, 300 kilowatt hours. So depending on what station we are using this service.
Okay. And then also, well, normally when you get the batteries prepared, they are at 90 or 91%, but would you push them past the 90% mark then?
No. When we do grid services, we don't charge the batteries different. I mean, it's batteries that we're giving to the users. We are also using them for grid services. So we just charge them as normal to 90%.
Okay. And then also, I wonder, when does this virtual power plant operate? Is it only when the swap station is closed, or other hours?
Well, we bid on the different when we want to offer these services, but basically we do this 24/7, so there's no differences there. But we look at when is there a need in the market, and how much are we willing to offer during that time. So it varies over the day, but we offer it 24/7.
Well, interesting, because if you do this 24/7, during peak hours, could the users experience something different, like they receive a battery that is not 90%?
Yeah, well, and that's a good question, because of course the user experience is always our highest priority, and that includes, so we look and we have forecasting tools. How much will the user swap during a different period of times? So the first priority is to make sure that the batteries are charged for the user demand. And then we offer the rest of the batteries for grid services. And also, I'm just taking an example. We do have a station in Oslo called Bjørn, where we have like 85 swaps a day, some peak days. Those stations are not suitable for grid service. Here we need all of the batteries fully for the users. It's very hard to leave some of the batteries empty. We need to fully, but many of the other stations we can do both. So we need to find a balance. Yeah.
Oh, well, now I have an extra question then. But does it mean that the less busy stations are more suitable for the grid services?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
But they cannot be too. You can only have grid services when you have empty batteries. So if there's a station that hardly has any swaps, that's also not suitable for grid service. You need kind of those in-between stations that have some swaps, because you need the empty batteries to do grid services, but you cannot leave batteries empty for grid services when you have a high demand.
Okay, but but the power swap station, it can go like both ways, right? Send and receive.
No. Currently, the grid service we have now is only receiving. It's only one directional.
Oh.
There is bidirectional as well, but FCRD and what we're doing currently is only one way receiving.
Okay, but how many kilowatt can it pull then from the grid?
When it's, you mean what we are qualified to do for the grid service?
Yeah.
Some stations we have 300 kilowatts and some we have 400.
Okay, but the swap station is capable of pulling more in theory, or how much is it?
Yes, it's more. Well, for the generation 2, we have 540 kilowatts, and for the generation 3, 630.
Okay, so you just go a little bit lower there on the... But I mean, yes. In general, the higher kilowatt you make available, the more money you make, right? On the...
Yes, yes, that is true.
But then, okay, then I also wonder, in China, you have over 3,000 swap stations there. Must be a gold mine to start over there also, right?
Well, grid service is more, the demand is more here in Europe, I would say. I'm not an expert at all in the Chinese market, but grid service is not as a big topic, I would say, in China as in Europe. But we do have some, we have a station that is bidirectional in China that we tested already. So we do have other features of grid services and are doing tests there. But I think here in Europe, there is a big demand, and there is, from the market, there is a big need of these services, because we have so much new energy coming in that needs a flexible energy system. And there is a great potential with all the electrical batteries in cars, in our power swap stations, to supply for that flexible market.
Well, you mentioned that one swap station in China, bidirectional. Just curious, which generation is it then? Gen 3?
Generation 3.
Okay. Yeah. But do you know how many kilowatt has been reserved for in and out?
No, I don't have those numbers, fortunately.
Okay. But
it would be the same principle. You decide how much you want to give, you want to be able to give away and receive. So unidirectional or bidirectional, it's the same principle. You basically decide how much of your storage you're willing to bid into a market. And then you can choose a part of it or all of it, but that makes it less accessible for a user. So I don't think we will go that way, but having some good middle way.
Well, let's say if you empty the batteries, right? You mentioned, or
yeah. Well, if you are doing FCRD, you need the empty batteries to receive. But if we are doing bidirectional, giving back to the net, then you basically need all of the batteries fully charged to give away energy. But then we would need them fully charged at all times if we bid, of course. So you need to find some balance on how much you want to offer one or two ways.
Okay, but with two-way, does it mean you can double the money you make? Or
Yes.
You can.
Yes, so normally if you do grid services, I mean, what we are saying, we are doing FCRD now. You could basically at one station do AFRR, FCRD, bidirection. There are so many different names of different services that you're providing. But if you want to make a station profitable, you normally would do giving bidirectional and receiving and giving away at the same time. Yeah.
Well, to me, it sounds like this. It has great potential that you can actually help the grid with all the swap stations that are sitting there.
Yes, there is a big potential here, definitely, but it takes also time to develop. And I mean, it's us having the power plant. Then we're collaborating with. We're getting approvals from. I mean, in Norway it's called Statnett, right? Yeah, Svenska kraftnät in Sweden. So you do some collaborations, and then you have to have the technical solutions. But yes, I think there is a big potential here.
Okay, but then how is so in the future now? How is it going to be? Do you know, for let's say next year or the following years?
I don't have a good answer to that. It takes some time doing the development, but we're definitely looking into it and doing pilot testing and see where we can do some tests in the market. But no answer on when it would come.
Okay, in Norway. Well, I mean, to me it sounds like it's just lots of untapped resource.
Yes, yes.
but also. Do you think that actually in the future all the swap stations they could be bidirectional, like that one in China?
Maybe not all the stations, but definitely many stations, and there are many use cases. I know recently in Norway there was a big power outage also, and
the storm,
and, you know. Then many people are probably wondering, maybe it's good to have some storages to our facilities. So there is several use cases, and we just need to do some development to see what next step could be.
Well, could you take an existing Gen 3 station, for example in Norway, and then upgrade it so it becomes bidirectional?
In theory, yes, you could. You would have to exchange the power modules. So the power modules are not the same. So you would have to remove that and put in the bidirectional power module. So either you would take an existing one or you build a new one and put it from the start and do the testing of the station.
Okay. Well then, I guess the power modules eventually they wear out and they need to be replaced anyway, right?
And you also need a bidirectional grid connection as well, the meter there. So but yes, in theory, there's many opportunities to look into this, definitely.
Cool. Well, I mean, I find it very interesting. I also have some kind of like VPP something at home, but it's a smaller scale and it's just one direction, but it's just part of helping the grid.
Yes, and I mean, there are I see many different reports saying that it's difficult, but I think the coolest part is when people are just doing it and see where can we utilize the systems we already have, or when we want to build out the system, normally it's not so much more hardware. It's normally it's not so easy, but it's development of codes and how the systems work with each other and doing it in a good balance. But I think there is great potential in this area.
Yeah, maybe we should have a follow-up video, let's say next year, to see how this has been going.
Maybe, and let's let's see if we're also in Norway then, but definitely, who knows?
But how long?
I'm always very positive, but what I've also learned in this area, it takes quite some time because there are many different parties that has to collaborate, the pre-qualification time, and it just takes time, but I think to be perseverant and just keep on pushing and trying to find a solution, it is rewarding, but it's, sometimes you would wish it could all go much faster.
But then I forgot to ask, how long has it been operating now in Sweden?
We were approved on the 8th of October, so 1 month basically, and then took some time to start. So I think we have been bidding for 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. Just in the background, we have to make sure there are empty batteries for this service. And in the starting phase, we only bid very low amounts. Now with that, we have done some tests and see it's working well, not impacting users. Then we can get a little more bold and add more batteries into the pool. So just slowly scaling up in these services.
Yeah, NIO owners in Sweden or Norwegian, you have to bid. You have to swap the batteries so they get empty batteries.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, but very interesting. So I think that's going to be it. So thank you so much, Kajsa, for answering the questions.
Thank you so much for showing interest in this. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
So then. Again, and maybe I should also receive some questions from the audience. So if you guys have something you want to ask, just comment, and then maybe I'll gather all the questions and just email it to NIO about this. So at least I find it very interesting, this topic.
Great, we will love that.
So that's gonna be it.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.